Well, immigration experts say there's a good possibility your kids go to school with children who are not supposed to be in the United States, but you'd never know it. And get this, the school probably doesn't either. WSBT-22's Kelly Stepsinski is digging into the issue of undocumented students. And Kelly, this touches on such a controversial topic.
The issue of immigration, Rick. Think about what happened a couple months ago in Plymouth. Federal investigators say this 21-year-old man who was in the United States illegally lied about his age to enroll in high school, became sexually involved with a 14-year-old, and convinced her to run away with him. So that got us wondering, how many undocumented students are in local schools? And how often are those students lying about their age to get in?
It was around 1999. At the time, I was five years old, going on 6.
Evelyn Gonzalez's parents had a dream for her before she was old enough to want it for herself.
My mom just one day said, you know what, like, we're no longer going to be separated from your dad. And she ended up selling everything we had. And the next thing I know, we're moving here with my dad.
Here, America. They crossed the border into Texas, then 6 months later moved to South Bend, and the Mexican family of 5 was undocumented. No passports, no green cards, no social security numbers. Legally, not supposed to be here.
You grow up and the subject is kind of taboo until the time to apply for college comes along, and all of a sudden you don't have those 9 digits that you need in order to apply. I'm not eligible for FAFSA. So all the walls just kind of start caving in.
Evelyn's parents enrolled her in South Bend schools. She earned her high school diploma from Marion High School and says her classmates and teachers had no idea about her secret.
Our mission is not about determining who should and shouldn't go to school based upon their immigration status. Our mission is to educate.
Doug Thorne oversees personnel and legal services at Elkhart Community Schools. He points to a 1982 Supreme Court ruling that says schools cannot turn away any student because of their immigration status. Federal law also says schools aren't allowed to ask whether a student is documented or if they even have a social security number. Parents just have to show a certified birth certificate or another approved document within 30 days of enrolling a child in school.
At that point in time, if they haven't provided that information to us, or if we believe that the records are fraudulent, our obligation is not to stop educating that child, but to refer that information to the Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
So how many undocumented students are enrolled in Elkhart schools?
Honestly, we don't know that answer.
And the state departments of education in Indiana and Michigan don't know either.
It's a growing issue.
Republican Carlin Yoder vice chairs Indiana's Senate Education Committee.
I'm somebody who's very sympathetic to kids and ensuring that they get an education, so I understand that piece of it. But at the same time, I also understand that we have to keep our kids safe that are in our schools as well.
Yoder points to what happened in Plymouth.
It's extremely alarming.
Police say 21-year-old Rigoberto Reyes, a Honduran man, forged his birth certificate to enroll in high school and became sexually involved with a 14-year-old girl.
When we can't even have a system to identify who's in our schools and who's applying to get in our schools, then we need to change some things. I am urging Congress and the President to step up to the plate and do something about this because it's really on their shoulders to do.
Plymouth Superintendent Dan Tyree says his employees did everything right when checking Reyes's birth certificate.
We can tell a birth certificate from the United States, but what does one look like from Mexico, or what does one look like from Honduras? And we've hired some people that have experience with that, and we have them look at the paperwork that we're given.
And he says it was an isolated incident.
Many people come into the United States unlawfully or without permission, but that does not always just make them a criminal.
Immigration attorney Cecilia Lopez says the Plymouth incident is the first time she's ever heard of an undocumented person lying about their age to get into school. I also checked with police departments throughout our area who say they have not seen it happen here.
You can't paint us all by the same brush.
Evelyn, who is set to begin her senior year as student body vice president at Holy Cross College, says what Reyes did in Plymouth is disappointing because it gives other undocumented people a bad reputation. She says she's never lied about her immigration status to get government benefits or go to school. And technically, she is still not a United States citizen.
I am considered, I guess, a kind of temporary residency. That's how I like to explain it. It's a little bit more complex than that.
Evelyn is what's called a DACA recipient. DACA stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, an American immigration policy allowing certain undocumented immigrants who came into the country before their 16th birthday and before June 2007 to get a renewable work permit and exemption from deportation.
This memorandum of
But since that's an executive order by President Obama, Evelyn knows it could be canceled at any time.
It's very frightful, but at the same time, for me, it's better to be able to work now and be able to attend college than not to have anything at all. So that's a risk that's worth taking.
After college, Evelyn says she wants to work for the United States government or go to law school. Both would be challenging because of her immigration status.
I do believe in a comprehensive immigration reform, which would have certain requirements. People who like my family, who have paid their taxes, who haven't been involved in like any type of criminal behavior, who have been going to college, who have been productive.
But until there's a change in federal laws, she says she'll continue pushing and living her own American dream. I reached out to Senators Joe Donnelly, Dan Coates, and 2nd District Representative Jackie Walorski with specific questions about whether they think the laws should change and why. All three declined on-camera interviews and declined to answer those questions. As for Reyes, he's facing federal charges for taking a minor across state lines and having sex with her.
Now, Kelly, let's go back to the question that Senator Yoder raised about this, how safe our kids are at school. It's a real issue out there. I know parents in Plymouth still very concerned about the Reyes situation.
They are, but the superintendent there insists it was an isolated incident. Both Tyree and Thorne from Elkhart School say your kids are probably safer in school than anywhere else.
I know you'll keep us updated on this, Kelly. Thanks.